I wanted to do an unboxing, but I kind of just jonesed for reading my first manga. And so this was the first manga I ever read, and I wanted to do a quick vlog video about this series in general. And it picked up a lot of steam, so much steam that it's contributing a massive chunk of the net revenue that comes in from comics. I think it's over $1 billion as of 2019, and a huge, massive chunk of that is from Japanese books getting translated by Viz Media. So the publisher here that they're basically the big publisher that brings all the content over, and then it's been doing bonkers. Brought up the Wikipedia page because just for some interesting information about the series. Basically, it started in 2014, serialized in the weekly Shonen Jump. Now I know that this is an app that releases manga weekly, and it's very low cost for people to subscribe to this service. I guess it's so many people subscribe to this service that it becomes financially viable, but it sounds crazy. Little you pay for the amount you get. Now, while reading this, I found out they were weekly updates, and that's blowing my mind, because what does that mean? Does that mean that it's one of these chapters gets released per week? Because that sounds insane to me. This is all so new to me. I'm overwhelmed very quickly. So going into this, now it hasn't been around for as long as I thought it was around. It seems fairly new. It got picked up really early on. I mean, it was adapted into an anime on 5th season, so they're waiting for the announcement of the 5th season. Now I don't know what volumes that contains, but I do know I have access to this, but I don't want to watch it because I don't want it to spoil the comics. And I end up in this weird dynamic where, I mean, I could just watch the anime, because then if I watch the anime, it'll spoil the manga. But I mean, honestly, if I read the manga, it'll spoil the anime. So I mean, it's kind of like, which comes first? Well, I think the manga comes first. It's the original source, so that's the one I want to kind of experience, spoiler free, and then I basically go and watch anime to kind of see what's going down. So there's two movies that got released. There's Two Heroes and Heroes Rising, and so it looks like this stuff is just, it was hotcakes right off the press, man. And when I say hotcakes, I mean hotcakes. Where is it? Right here. As of December 2019, the manga had over 26 million copies in print. Now, people who aren't fans of comics, they're gonna say, oh no, I mean, all comics sell this much. No, they don't. No, they don't. Comics do not sell. Western comics are not selling very well. The trade format is doing not so bad. Tons of different ways these things get printed, but the American floppy is something that does not sell like hotcakes like it used to back in World War II. But in any case, this is phenomenal, and that's why the comic book sales right now are crazy, and they're growing. They're making a lot of profit. Well, they're making a lot of profit because they're actually imports. That's the summary of it all. And there's no way that I mean, well, I don't want to say no way, but I mean, manga is Japanese comics. It's not like Americans are going to make manga. That doesn't work with the wording of all of that. Manga is Japanese comics. So to break all this down would be its own video, to be honest. It gets a little bit it can be overwhelming for people who just read books, and they're books. There's no distinction between floppy and manga and trade and hardcover and Euro album, stuff like that. It doesn't mean anything to them. To most non-comic book fan readers, they're just readers. None of that makes sense. Anyway, so this is, I'm telling you, this is a lot. I'm saying this is a lot. This is a massive amount. 26 million is nearly unheard of. That said, I'm looking at 24 volumes here. I believe there's 27 volumes as of the present. I'm assuming this 26 million is everything combined. But again, everything combined in a matter of 6 years, that's a hell of a lot of copies sold. I mean, I don't know what the numbers are for something like Marvel Comics for their entire line of 50 to 100 books, let's say. I'm sure it's in the millions. I mean, I think I heard a number, it was like 350 million they'll make in a year. So all of Marvel, owned by Disney Comics, with all of their titles, makes somewhere like $1/3 billion, might be the last number I heard. This is a single creator-owned book. That is, all manga is essentially creator-owned, right? Because I mean, they make a big deal out of the creators that are on this. It's like, this is the creator's book. And if I understand things correctly, if these series don't do well, they just stop making them, and then they'll create another series and they'll try it on the market, and if it sells well, then they'll make another volume. So this is very much a consumer-driven enterprise, which is sort of encouraging when there's something like 24 volumes and you want to do a book haul, and you just go, screw it, I'm getting all 24 volumes all in one go. Because the idea being that if there are 24 volumes, it means that in this particular, the way this industry works from Japan to then the translations here, they're selling like hotcakes. It means they're good enough to sell like hotcakes, which means they're good enough to buy entire runs of a series, and then you buy 24 issues in one shot. You just spend all of your comic book budget in one go. Okay, so Not to talk too deep about this, but for those of you who are new, I think I'm going to return back to the point, who are new to My Hero Academia and you're curious to know what this is about. The summary is basically, in a world where currently most of the human population possesses superpowers labeled as quirks, following the transitional period, Izuku Midoriya dreamt of becoming a hero despite being bullied by his violent childhood friend Katsuki Bakugo for lacking a quirk. Both youths idolize one of the world's greatest heroes, All Might. And the rest sort of gets spoilery, and it's been on the screen, so if you've read it, you've already spoiled yourself, but essentially, Izuku ends up finding out one of the weaknesses of All Might, that when he transforms, there's a weakness involved, and we'll go from there. Ran across other books in the My Hero Academia universe. And I was like, oh god. Do I have to get all of these as well? So, and of course I will eventually, but I don't even know. I need to know if I'll enjoy it. I'll enjoy it. I'll enjoy the series. And there's two more. There's one called Smash, My Hero Academia Smash, which started in 2015. So like 1 year after this series started, there was already a second series launched. So I mean, this IP is already, it's a solid IP if that's happening. And then we have another one, another spin-off series, My Hero Academia Vigilantes was the other one I saw, and that one started 3 years later, 2017, because there was a healthy amount of volumes there too. So there you go. There's a ton of stuff I need to get. And that was this one. Oh my god, I didn't even get this far. A third spin-off series, My Hero Academia Team Up Mission. Whew. Okay, is this a short? I mean, don't spoil me too heavily. I mean, I can just look into it. Why am I so afraid of spoilers? With a prologue chapter debuting Shonen Jump Giga. Anyways, and I don't have Shonen Jump. I know people who have talked about Shonen Jump, and they say it's too much content. I think it's something like $2 American, but per month. Is that something like that? If you're interested, go look into it. It's a lot of reading. If you're interested, go look in it. That's all I can say. For me, it would overwhelm me. I bought enough like physical copies, and I like physical copies. And so if I'm gonna jump into a manga, I'm gonna pick series. I'm gonna buy them, and then I'm just going to binge them and get as far as I can. And then there's anime again. They talk about anime, and then they go more into a theatrical film, video games, and musicals. Why was there a musical on a manga? It was so fun. Controversy. I'm kind of curious. You want to look at the controversy together? Let's look at the controversy together. In early 2020, the series caused a controversy in South Korea and China for allegedly referencing Unit 731, an infamous Imperial Japanese Army unit known for vivisecting captured Chinese, Korean, and Russian individuals, and has been removed from distribution there. Damn. Well, creator owned and freedom of creative expression. That's the thing, man. That's, I think, why Japan is getting involved with like the whole censorship thing. It's like, this is their thing. Post World War II, they found this. They rebuilt a society based on making a bunch of comic books. I don't know if I'm inventing that. It sort of sounds reasonable to me. When I work out the timelines, I'm like, the country completely turned around. Like, they had an almost renaissance when it came to art and even art style. Like anime, now I'm going to say anime. Anime has such a distinct characterization style that it's distinctly Japanese. You know what I mean? Like, they built up an entire look that is, I mean, you can see I've heard it called as big eyes, small mouths, BSM. It's the thing. That's the culture. Is like, this is theirs. So to have other countries sort of, I don't know, start to seem like there's going to be implications tied to censorship, I don't like it. They're just going to keep all this stuff in Japan, and then none of it's going to come to North America. Or if it comes to North America, it's going to have to come through other means. It's going to be a mess. But I mean, if there's going to start being weird censorship things going on, why wouldn't there just be a Japanese company that translates things in English and then just ships them from Japan? Just like becomes its own distributor without needing the kind of distribution or push or publisher, whatever like agreements they have in place, without needing any of that. They just keep it all. If there's gonna be a problem, keep it all. Because, you know, we're in a digital age right now where if people want to buy things, like fans want to buy things, they're just gonna buy things online anyways. So just let people buy things and then ship worldwide. Dude, done. It's done. Amazon doesn't want to sell them, no problem. You make all the money. Man, I totally said I was gonna do a pseudo unboxing. I mean, I've already unboxed, but let's go through the covers together. Just kind of look at some characters and some covers for the series. Of the 24 volumes I got so far, just gonna pull them out, look at the covers here. So we got someone who can unplug their hands, cut off their, oh yeah, there's some sort of creepy dude. I don't know if that's the same dude. There's one creepy dude who's like a teacher. Here's volume 4. Looks like a group here in their uniforms. Some of those characters look familiar from volume 1. Now hopefully nothing gets too spoilery. Not familiar to me, this dude, but looks like we got a story that's not Midoriya. So I would love, I mean, there's enough characters. Oh, that's a nice, cute, creepy guy right there. There's enough characters where you can just, oh yeah, there's some hot, what's his name? I forget his name, but like he's sort of like a Flash, but like he's like a hot rod guy. Like he's got, they're just, and then the way they do the powers in this series, I will say, very amusing. I was very amused. Anyways, so what I was saying is they can really explore these characters, you know? There's this guy who I also forget. Oh man, I gotta reread volume 1 again. Did I finish that sentence yet? Right here. There you go. There's All Might in the top there. Who's this dude? This cartoonish dude? Was there a bubbly dude in the team? The powers are kind of weird sometimes, and they're great. That's all I remember. That's a hot rod dude, I guess. Anyways, there you go. Just me speaking nonsense without any context. We got some fighting the villains. That feels a little bit almost Saber-toothian to me with Venom behind there. That looks awesome. That looks really cool. Cool character design. I don't even know where I'm at right now. Volume 10. Wait, isn't that just from the cover from volume? We just saw this hand on the face. So they're using some art assets there to make covers, maybe for the North American audience prints. I don't know. There's All Might right there. He's looking all beat up. Interesting. I don't think I finished the sentence. Did I? The one where like they could just do stories about the other characters and spend an entire volume just breaking down a history on any of the other characters. And there were a lot of them even in issue 1 because he's going to a high school of superpower dudes. Oh, that guy's like grenades or something. No, he's oh man, I already forgot. He does like his bombs on his hands, but of course his arms and his wrists look like grenades. Great. Wow, these books still feel really new. Like even the texture of them, it's like they smell new all over again. Taking them out of this box. Got this one right here. That one looks pretty crazy. That one looks like it could have been like it's gonna be a villain story, or it could have been My Hero Academia, whatever I called the other villain one. the one that the other one they're doing, the Vigilante series. Is that one? That guy looks cool. Looks sort of like a younger All Might. Oh man, I don't want to. No one spoil anything for me, please. No one spoil anything. I like this. I like the ones that get a little bit crazy. Like I don't know if these are villains, but I like villains that have like good texture to them. And then I get to this, just a rock band shot from one of the volumes. Who knows? Who knows what stories these will hold? There's this one right here. Where are we at right now? We're at 21. Now this is getting into territory that I mean, there's no way this is spoiling because I have no context, but this is showing me visuals that things are going to explode. Things are going to get crazy. It looks like. Are they getting all adult? I'm asking questions you don't have to answer. Are they getting all adult version-y? But no, they still kind of look like maybe they graduated already. I mean, 4 years have passed and 6 years have passed in real time. So, oh, that's why I remembered Villain. This one just came in. This was a pre-order when I ended up ordering these. That's interesting. My Villain Academia. So not My Vigilante Academia, My Villain Academia. Hey everybody, Shay here for an unboxing video. Another book haul has come in. It's right here in this box, and I'm going to open it and we're going to take a look at some covers. I was basically looking for a new series I could buy, a new manga series that I could buy and get into because an awesome book deal came up on Indigo Chapters, and it was basically buy 3 and get one of those free. So 33% off. I just convert it and make it simple for my brain to go, this is an amazing deal. I want 3 for 2, and let's do this. So I ended up buying another full series as far as I could buy, and here it is. Now I don't know how many came in this order, but I'm going to take a look with all of you and we'll go from there. The series is called Demon Slayer. This is volume 9. I'm kind of going out of order because that's the way they're on the they're packaged in this box. I don't think anyone was really caring about putting these in order. Wow, this is a very glossy cover. I feel like I just showed the covers of all of the My Hero Academia and I didn't get any of this glare. And now I'm getting tons of glare. Volume 6 there. Now of course I don't have any context with any of these characters, what they mean. So I was saying, I kind of quickly looked into this series to find a new series I could buy that was it was good. It was, yeah, at least it was from economic perspective, it was very successful, which would imply that it has a big following and it has a big support, kind of a fan support behind it, because this is such a kind of consumer driven enterprise, I like to call it, where money matters, sales matter, and so if something sells, you produce more of it. If it doesn't sell, the creator just moves on and makes another series and tries to make it a hit so that it sells, and they keep going. Really hard working creators, man, in Japan, because I mean, the more I read about the whole Shonen Jump thing, so the digital platform these will release to, I think it's only digital, whatever. However, I'm still looking into things. Okay, so I'm a noob. Let me just cut myself off right now. Organized thoughts. Let's get through the last 4 of these covers so I can turn my attention to all the other things I want to talk to and get my brain in order. We have volume 2. I don't even know if did I get forget. Did I already pass by volume 1? I don't know. I meant to kind of go through these and order them as I went, but I figured it would be faster. Hey, the last one was volume 1. Now, that's mostly all I know. There's a main character who's a demon hunter. I think that's his sister, something like that. His sister gets something rather, maybe possessed. I don't know. That's all I know. It's all I needed to know. It was sort of thematically in the ballpark of something that would interest me. So here it is right here, Demon Slayer. Let's get some summaries here. So Blade of the Demon is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Koyuharu Kotoge. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. It follows Tanjiro Kamado, a young boy who becomes a demon slayer after his family is slaughtered and his younger sister Nezuko is turned into a demon. Okay, so that's mostly what I read. The manga was serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump. Now that's what's still killing me is like, is this one of the chapters per week, and then I guess per month this gets produced per month? Because that would be crazy. There's a lot of pages here, and so if this is produced in a month's work, I mean, well, I'll just do some random flips. Like the art style is simpler in some degrees and not really in others. Like it's definitely simpler and faster to execute from a design perspective relative to American comic books, which are more action oriented and more complex and stuff like that. There's something about the expression that happens in manga that I don't really see in North American books. They have a different art form for capturing expression as part of the storytelling, and they take some they're very flexible in the way that they visualize that, so it just conveys a whole different sensibility. It's very cool. It's very cool. I was very impressed with My Hero Academia. I'm looking forward to this one. And again, just the quick art right now that I'm looking at, the flip through, looks pretty solid. Where was I going to go with this? So Shonen Jump, they produce crazy. It's a very low fee per month that you pay for this app, and you got entire libraries. Imagine Netflix but with manga, and it's too much to read. It's overwhelming. I would prefer physical copies, which is why I'm kind of delving into series that are big blockbustery kind of series. I'm just going to jump in and I'm going to see if this takes, because I mean, I obviously read a bunch of comics, American and Euro comics and stuff like that, but I've never really delved into manga. I read Lone Wolf and Cub, which I showed in the video talking about My Hero Academia, and I can do a whole video on Lone Wolf and Cub one day. I got the omnibus collection. They brought it to the North American audience, but they do a digital page flip and then they translate it so that the Western audience is still reading from right to left, as opposed to them going back to the original meant format, because it's like, you know, why should they change? Like for the audience, if the Western audience obviously loves this stuff. It's some of the highest contributors to the economics of comics right now in the Western, from a money perspective, how much money it makes in North America. A huge portion of it is imported from Japan. So this, just for context, the comic industry is basically being propped up by not American comics. Propped up. I mean, well, if it wasn't for the imports, they would not be doing as well as they're doing today. In any case, that's delving that I haven't researched enough to speak confidently about, so I'm just going to move on. So this series, when did it start? It from February 2016 to May 2020. So this is a relatively new series as well. It hasn't been out for that long, for only 4 years, and it's already, and this is where it blew my mind. I was like, I'm in. I'll buy it. Where is it? Oh, right there, last paragraph. So as of July 2020, so as of this month, the franchise has over 80 million copies in circulation, including digital versions. Okay, but that, who cares? Come on, it's not that. Well, Shonen Jump, supposedly it does very, very well. But in any case, we're talking about this. When I thought 23 or 24 million copies for My Hero Academia was a lot, and they have 27 volumes, 24 in North America, I believe, something like that. When I thought that was a high amount, and then I got to this one, I saw 80 million. That's nuts. That's nuts to me, because as far as I know, how many volumes did I get here? 14 or something like that? 14 here, and I pre-ordered 4 more that are supposed to be coming this year. So 18 volumes, 80 million copies in circulation. It's got to be good. It's got to be good. That's how this industry works. This industry works on the if it sells, make more of it model. Probably get deep into that but I just, it's gotten so political, the conversations around all this, that I don't want to touch any of it. That's why I'm turning to manga, because I don't have to deal with strange Western politics and kind of getting intertwined with everything. Listen, some people just want to enjoy a hobby, and that's it, and not have the hobby kind of tarnished by a bunch of conversations happening outside of the hobby, if that makes any sense. Those who know what I'm talking about. Those who don't worry about it. Just read what you like and enjoy creativity in whatever way that makes you happy. It's not just the product coming to you and having a message. It's about the way you experience a product and what that experience means to you on a subjective level, on a personal level, what it means to you. That also has has value in creative art forms. It's not just what people think things have mean or what people have. It doesn't. I don't want to get down that rabbit hole. I'm not going down it. You won't make me. Okay, so then let's go down here. The plot. So in Taisho era Japan, Tinejaro, I'm going to mangle all of these. Tinejaro Kamato is a kind-hearted and intelligent boy who lives with his family in the mountains. He has become his family's sole source of income after the passing of his father, making trips to the nearby village to sell charcoal. Everything, oh, I love that, even symbolically right now without knowing anything about the story, because I know it has to do with demons, but then the whole charcoal, the whole like fire, right? The blur, the hells, so everything changes when he comes home one day to discover that his family has been attacked and slaughtered by a demon. Tinejaro and his sister Nezuko are the sole survivors of an incident, with Nezuko being transformed into a demon, but still surprisingly showing signs of human emotion and thought. After an encounter with Gayu Tomayoka, hope I pronounced that good enough, a demon slayer, Tanjiro is recruited by Gayu to also become a demon slayer and begins his quest to help his sister turn a human again and avenge the deaths of the rest of his family. So simple. So simple. Yet there are 18 volumes already, at least the ones I know of. Let's scroll up real quick. So there's 21 volumes, so they're still being brought over here and translated. 18 out of 21 have made it. Now I read somewhere, maybe it was on the My Hero Academia one, is that they basically on Shonen Jump, they released the Japanese and English translations at the same time. I don't know if that includes other languages, but I thought that was pretty intriguing. That's how quick they are moving on this stuff, and then all that gets collected and brought over by Viz Media into this market. Okay, so that's it. That's the I don't want to dig too deeply into this, because again, I don't want to accidentally spoil myself, but I just want to see what other kind of properties they've already done with this. It's such a young IP, and look how much like stuff just when it kicks off in Japan, it's just like they commit to this art form, to these creators, to these IPs. Like they know how to turn this stuff into a business, and like it's impressive the numbers that they tap into. And I get that this is not just a Japanese audience buying this. Like this will ship to China and South Korea, obviously to Europe, and then in North America and stuff like that. Their ability to engage with that much fan base across so many territories to these numbers, millions and millions, tens of millions, that's insane. And then they'll go from that and they'll make the spin-off straight away. Like let's take a look at this. July 20th, 2016. So in the same year, a 2-chapter manga spin-off was published. Okay, well that might still be a test, so fair enough. And then let's see, we have Kaimetsu no Aima, a colored 4-koma. I don't even know what this means. I'm so new to all of this. I'm such a noob. That's why I'm recording these videos. I figured this would just be sort of a vlog journal, if you will, of my experience coming into this hobby. Who knows if 5 years from now I'm going to be a manga pro. I don't know. I consume way too much. There's so much content, you know. So what else? Let's keep looking. So May 2020. So this year, spin-off titled Kimetsu no Yaiba. And go, just stop trying to pronounce these. I don't know if this is another character. I don't know if this is, wait, isn't this the translated is Demon Slayer? But yeah, Kimetsu no Yaiba. Kimetsu no Yaiba. What does that mean? Is it up here? Blade of Demon Destruction. Okay. Blade of Demon Destruction. Love it. Okay, so we have Blade of Demons, but didn't they just say it was a spin-off? Blade of Demon Destruction, and then it's a spin-off of that story about the blade. Don't dig too deep. Okay, and then we have light novels. We have other media. We have anime. Of course, when I start saying manga, then I start saying anime. Anime television series. Let's see how far they got. So this started last year. They got picked up, so 3 years into the production of the manga. Ran 26 episodes. That's pretty impressive. Covering the first 52 chapters. Jesus. So one season covered, aren't there like what? There's what, 5 chapters per book is what I'm going to guess. I mean, the one in My Hero Academia was double. The first one was double, and then it looked like they were shorter ones. So what, 52 chapters? 10 manga right there? But there's like 21 of them. Is that like 2 seasons worth of anime? Don't say anime. Okay, let's move on. Film, already a film. Oh, fuck, this is crazy. I'm going to assume that's a cartoon though. Cartoon film? Yeah. Oh, that looks cool. Video games? Of course it's a video game. 2020. Stage play. My Hero Academia has a musical. This one has a stage play. Oh, that is impressive shit. Okay, we have Reception. The series ranked 14. Okay, that's pretty cool. In bookstores. Number 19, list of best manga of 2018 for male readers. Number 6, 2019 list. Let's see, ranked number 10, book of the year by Da Vinci Magazine. The manga was nominated by 24th. Okay, then we have sales numbers. This is the impressive. This is so crazy to me, man. So the series had 3.5 million copies in circulation worldwide a year ago. 10 million copies. The growth is blowing my mind. 10 million copies as of September 2019. 25 million copies 3 months later. 40 million, another 15 million copies 2 months later. The growth of this is phenomenal, man. And you look at these numbers, right? Like your 3.5 is also high. Don't get me wrong. It's also high, but it would have been in circulation already for 3 years. Again, still high. It's still high. But you're talking about a scenario here where half a year later, it's more than doubled. You know what I mean? And then every quarter, it's almost double in not even a quarter. And it's almost exponentially growing here. 60 million within a month. You see what I mean? Like the months are shrinking. It's less months, more financial gains. That is super impressive. Okay, let's see, and then what else can we learn here? The franchise recorded over 50 million copies circulation, including 71 million copies sold. I wish, Lord, could you imagine? Indie creators could start seeing these numbers, man. Every indie creator could be their own enterprise, man, if they sold these kinds of numbers. But I mean, wouldn't it be amazing, right? Please, it's kind of inspirational. Like, it doesn't even demoralize me, not at all. But especially me coming to this so late and starting to dig into things. Jesus. When you look at the rest of the world, when you just look at the Western comic book industry, it's difficult to navigate and understand because it's gotten so bloated with just nonsense that's not really about comics anymore. And that infects the joy of comics. So comics on their own there can be joy if you don't have the Twitter nonsense that goes into it. If you start allowing the Twitter nonsense to seep into your experience, then all of a sudden it's like, can I not just enjoy a hobby, And so in my head, I was like, I was enjoying European stuff, like comic books and creators, the Euro albums, like a long time ago, and I didn't even know the reasons for that. And I think I'm starting to figure it out. Not that I kind of I'm not 100% on board with this because I love a lot of what American comics do in the trade format. I will never go back to floppies again. From the perspective of like if you can tell cohesive, closed stories like the Elseworlds, things like that, like contained storylines, I love. And I love the characters, North American characters. I love them. I love the potential of them. I don't care how corporate they can be. I don't care. The corporate stuff doesn't matter to me. But where it starts to matter is when there's no cohesiveness to it. So as an old-time reader or a new-time reader trying to come into the hobby, it's very difficult to return to characters you love or to, let me go, why am I in this camera? It's hard to return to characters you love, like this guy. I can pick up something with this guy in it, and I want to just follow the story as fast as I can. But of course I can't, because when I pick up something with Darkhawk in it, there's all this other stuff I don't understand in the book I just read. And so why would I want to read another book? Well, because then you can continue the story that you just picked up. Yeah, but the story I just picked up it's referring to a bunch of things that I cannot possibly follow if I'm buying the trade format. It's just not a hobby that is very sustainable from a fan perspective, because it's not fun. It's not fun me hunting this stuff down. Now, when you're a deep, hardcore floppy comic book fan, then it's the thing you do every week. You get your comics and you enjoy your comics, and it just becomes a thing. It just becomes part of your routine, right? But even if you dislike things, you're almost kind of there's this compulsion for you to just keep buying the series because I'm already collecting the series. So I'm gonna have to keep collecting the series. I had water damage happen to my shelf, and it destroyed my Guardians of the Galaxies of all things, which of course, Darkhawk was appearing in War of Kings and all this stuff, but it destroyed the newer Guardians of the Galaxy. 2 trades got demolished by water, and then I was like, no, I'm done. So I'm gonna cut around the derailment I just did because I started talking about Darkhawk and War of Kings and the Cosmic Marvel and all that stuff. The point being is that if you make something hard to jump in on, then people aren't gonna jump in on anything. So when you look at something like this, and you have 21 volumes that are out, right, for the series like this. This is all sequential, right? So you can pick up a series, and then you can pick up the next one, then you can pick up the next one, and you're gonna have a cohesive storyline through this entire series until they decide to just stop the series or not, right? But as a fan, you can commit to something and stick to it, and there's power in serialization in a story that keeps on going, and it honors a contained experience. This is not telling you to go and buy a bunch of other things, they just tell the story they got to tell. Now there's also the creative freedom that I've been digging into from the Japanese perspective of what these represent to the culture itself, to the country, and I'm a super supporter of creative freedom. So that makes me want to get into this even more, because I want to support this idea, not just the creative endeavors that involved here, but the business model. Like, this needs to be supported as much as possible. Even the Shonen Jump, like, it's not for me, but because I want the physical copy of the books, but for the low cost to get basically the Netflix of manga, it's too much to read for that low cost, and they make that model work, which is something like the cost of an entire Shonen app per month is cheaper than the cost of a digital Western comic on Comixology or wherever else you're going to buy a digital comic. You're paying more for an American comic, single comic, than you are if you buy the monthly service for the Shonen Jump. Does that make any business sense to anybody at all? And they're obviously making it work because they're making millions and millions of dollars and units sold, and like, so something's broken in the Western market right now, in the Western business model. I think trades are definitely the future. I think the things are gonna turn into the more contained, closed story for even the corporate comics of North America, DC Comics, Marvel Comics, things like that, because this model is going to infect the Western model. It has to. It's right now, I think I've already talked about it, it's increasing the sales by a huge margin. Imported comics are basically increasing the sales of Western dollar value market, the 1.2 billion or whatever it is from 2019. But a huge, I think it was 20-something% was manga sales or something like that, maybe higher. I don't remember the numbers, but it's the kind of thing where you go, listen, at one point someone has to reassess these models, right? It just doesn't make any sense. And there's no plan here. It's very loose, very casual. And if you're new here, enjoy, and of course subscribe, and I'll catch you in future episodes. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire, buddy. Peace.